Reverend Mother, you have summoned me. Tell me, child, do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them? Yes. What do you see? This beautiful woman.
Paul, come to my planet Arrakis and I will show you my spices.
You possess too much power. We shall see if you're worthy to wield that. The test is simple. Remove your hand from the box and you die. What's in the box? Take a guess. Gwyneth Paltrow's head from Seven. Wrong movie. Chocolates? Cause my mom always said, life is just like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Valentine's is next year. It's pain, darling. Now put your goddamn hand inside that box. Pain. Oh, does it hurt? I must not fear. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
What is up, cinephiles? Welcome back to Screen Kings. Today's video, we'll be doing a non-spoiler review of the most anticipated movie of the month, Halloween Kills, directed by David Gordon Green. In it, we have Jamie Lee Curtis. Psych! Of course, we're not talking about Halloween Kills. I've not seen that movie and I probably won't based on the reviews that I'm hearing. But for real this time, of course, we're talking about Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve. And this is not to be confused with the 1980 film directed by David Lynch, though both films are based on the 1965 novel of the same name by Frank Herbert. And in it, our story is set on a faraway future. We have the House Atreides, led by Duke Leto, played by Oscar Isaac. He's been tasked to be the new steward / custodian of this desert planet called Arrakis, the only planet known to produce this valuable element called spice, the most important asset in this universe. We also have here his son, played by Timothee Chalamet. He's the heir apparent to the throne, and along the way, he will discover that he has a lot of gifts waiting to be unlocked. Now, I'm not gonna say what they are, and you're just gonna have to discover for yourselves. But there's also a prophecy surrounding this character that he's going to be the messiah of some sorts. That baseline synopsis, you can actually rephrase it however you like it, because this movie is just multifaceted. It's just involving a lot of storylines, and yeah, it's just a daunting task of a movie. And that's coming from someone who has not read the source material and just watched the movie. There's a lot going in here. Let me first tell something that I'm going to rave about. No doubt upon seeing the trailer, it's gotta have to be the technical aspects of this movie. Visual and audio, it's beautiful, it's elegant. My friend from Man of Movies, John, hi John, said that it's been a while that he's been wowed by such spectacle ever since he watched Avatar, and I'm inclined to agree with that. I was just completely convinced that this is going to be the best movie that I'm gonna see this year in terms of the technical aspects and probably of the decade. And I was just watching this, unfortunately, on my TV screen on HBO Max, because theaters won't open here until next month. So unless you have this superior living room with surround sound, with theater-like quality, I would really suggest for you to watch this on the cinema. But even then, I think to have a movie with such large of a scope, it is definitely a cinematic experience for me. When Denis Villeneuve mentioned that this movie deserves to be seen on the largest screen possible, he's not kidding. It's such a spellbinding movie. Watching this movie from the very beginning until the end, I never left the place. There are a lot of details and a lot of world building attention here. For the most part, I'm just absorbing all this new information that I'm getting. Of course, there's some inspiration to Star Wars here, but there are plenty of original ideas here that I've not seen in some of the sci-fi movies that I'm really thrilled. Pair that with the booming musical score by Hans Zimmer, the visuals will really sear into your mind. It will put you into a trance, especially if you're a sci-fi geek like me. It's brooding, it's hypnotic, the tension is always simmering, quite different to the approach by Marvel and DC and Star Wars films, and I like that this one has its own tone. I love movies from the Marvel, DC, and Star Wars, but the thing is, sometimes while watching those films, I felt like I can sense that they're already marketing the merchandise that they're going to sell whenever a cute character or this awesome weapon will be introduced. Watching this movie, I don't feel like I'm being marketed something. It's just a high art form. You know, this is an art house movie. It's a more mature version of Star Wars, I would say. It has multiple themes, whether it comes to its underlying mythology, also the intergalactic politics, religious motifs, some issues about environmental degradation, issues about colonialism and exploitation of this industry-based planet. So a lot of things going on, and the best part about this is the exposition. There are kept to a minimum actually. Usually most sci-fi shows, they're just gonna dump expositions every now and then that there's nothing left for the curiosity and imagination of the viewers. So the approach that they have here is to show more and tell less, and I really appreciate that approach. The point of view that we're having here is the House Atreides as they try to settle into this new planet. So we come to realize that it's a very hot planet, and there are different ways and different equipments that are going to be used to conserve water from your tears, your sweat, and everything. So it's amazing to see how these things work, discovering this new water cycle. They have this awesome flying transport that is designed to move like this dragonfly. It's just the middle of the film, and I'm already convinced that I want a franchise out of this. That's how good this movie is. The tone though, it's something different. As I've said, it's more melancholic, it's more brooding. You will be disappointed if you're looking for that swashbuckling tale. This is more of a contemplative, more introspective. There are a lot of glances among characters. And of course, since we are dealing with a lot of plot lines, different characters will be introduced in and out of the frame. Some of them, they don't really have much depth at this point, but it's the performances that really add to their depth. This is a high-profile cast, and not just an A-list cast. These are really great, talented actors. We have Rebecca Ferguson as a Bene Gesserit witch with the ability to have great insight and mind control. The uncle/big brother figures to Paul here, played by Jason Momoa and Josh Brolin as Duncan, Idaho, and Gurney. Zendaya here is only for a limited screen time, but she adds spark to the proceedings. She has this great chemistry with Timothee Chalamet here, and we also have Javier, Bardem, David Bautista. Now their roles, they're not yet fully realized, but that's the nature of the beast that we're dealing here, because this is a two-part movie. The narrative will come to a full stop, and some of the characters here will be left unfinished. The most fleshed out character here, of course, has to be Paul. Even him, his arc is not yet done. They try to make his story relatable by framing it as a coming-of-age tale. A young prince or a would-be king who's just faced with many options in his life. He could be someone that his father wants to be, or his mother wants to be, or what society expects him to be. And there's also this whole prophecy thing going on. So it will be a lot to take in, and there's a vulnerability in this character because he's sheltered, but he's eager and very curious to learn. But he will realize that he has this godlike responsibility in front of him. So that will be something that's really terrifying if you're in his position. At this point, I'm not fully resonating to his arc yet because it seems to me like a quintessential white savior tale, but we have to wait and see if there's going to be some subversions along the way, because Part 2, I heard, is going to be crazy and a lot of payoffs will definitely happen in here. Now, onto my cons, though I can't wholeheartedly say that this is a con for me, though I'm sure that most people will find this frustrating, is Dune is essentially half of a movie, no matter how great it is. And as a critic, you're going to be forced to judge it as a standalone movie. So in terms of generating an emotional response, it kind of felt short because the arcs are still not complete. The whole film can seem like it's a big setup, a big prologue to a more exciting part 2. Though for me, they really need this to get out of the way, the world building, to establish who the characters are. And I believe that they really wasted no time here in setting up these key players to this big story. There's some action in this film, though it's placed far and few between, but honestly, I'm not disappointed because if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings and other world-building sci-fi shows or movies out there, you're gonna have to have patience. And the length of the film can be challenging, but honestly, I can feel that the confidence of director Denis Villeneuve here, and I'm really leaning onto that. So if the goal of this movie is to tease us more of what's to come, it greatly succeeds. If Denis Villeneuve is able to pull off the second film with the equal amount of success or even more that this first film has, this has the makings to be the modern masterpiece when it comes to sci-fi genre, sci-fi cinema. So I'm really excited because like its protagonist, it has a lot of unrealized potential. It stops on a promising chapter that we're all excited to see what happens next. It's just a big canvas of a epic proportion movie that sometimes the human or the heart element gets overshadowed. Maybe that will have a more potent effect on the part 2, but we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5. Stunning visuals, impressive art with narrative clarity, not like Tenet, and there's really confidence in the direction here that's just enough for me to bring me along with the ride. And yeah, I'm really looking forward for part 2. I really hope that they should, right? Because I think I'm gonna be depressed if they just stop it on here. So yeah, how about you guys? Let me know what you think about Dune. Drop them on the comment sections down below. Also, if you enjoyed watching this video, give me a like and subscribe to me for weekly reviews of movies and TV shows. Thank you so much guys for watching. Until then, I'll see you all on the next one.